When driving downhill on a mountain road, always A. Be always prepared to hit the brakes. B. Blow your horn every 1 minute. C. Shift to low gear so the engine braking action can help you control your speed. The correct answer is C. Shift to a lower gear before you start heading downhill, as this will help slow down the car without you having to hit the brakes. If your car uses an automatic transmission, use L or 2 instead. On a wet road, you must A. Maintain speed. B. Slow down. C. Increase speed. The correct answer is B. When the road is wet, it is safest to drive at a moderate speed because there's less friction between your tires and the road. If you are backing up in a straight line, turn and look behind and over your shoulder at A. Right. B. Left and right. C. Left. The correct answer is A. When backing up, turn to your right so you can see through the back window. Turn your head and body to the right until you can see clearly through the back window. You can drape your right arm over the back of the seat to improve your balance as you do this. When can you, car A, drive off of the paved roadway to pass another vehicle? A. During emergency situations. B. Under no circumstances. C. When you want to get ahead of the traffic. The correct answer is B. Many drivers and riders do this in the Philippines. They drive on sidewalks, bike lanes, unpaved roads and so on. But this should never be done. This is actually illegal. Reserve the sidewalks for people and bike lanes for bikes. Drive on paved roads whether you're overtaking or not. Is shifting to neutral or coasting a good driving habit to save fuel when driving downhill? A. Yes. B. No. C. Not sure.
The correct answer is B. Shifting to neutral or coasting is actually very unsafe because you need your accelerator to avoid unexpected hazards on the road. Disconnecting the engine from the drivetrain removes any engine braking. This means that your car will speed up without using your brakes, and relying solely on your brakes means you could get brake fade.
When driving at night, you should
A. Decrease your speed. B. Drink coffee so you won't fall asleep. C. Always turn your headlights on. The correct answer is C. Failure to turn your headlights on is against the law and would put you and other road users in danger. If you carry a load, it should be A. Either over or in front of the front axle. B. Either behind or in front of the rear axle. C. Either over or in front of the rear axle. The correct answer is C. You can carry a load that extends 4 meters behind the rear axle and 3 meters in front of the front edge of the front seat. How close should another car be before you dim your headlights? A. 150 meter. B. 100 meter. C. 200 meters. The correct answer is A. If you're driving with your headlights on, make sure to dim them when you're at least 150 meters 500 feet from any oncoming vehicle so you don't blind the oncoming driver. If you're within 60 to 90 meters 200 to 300 feet of the vehicle you are following, you must use low beam lights. To execute a safe turn, a motorcycle rider should always A. Lean the motorcycle in the direction of the curve or turn. B. Be quick and alert in executing the turn. C. Lean the motorcycle in the other direction of the curve or turn. The correct answer is A. Exactly the same way as you lean a bicycle. Basically, a two-wheeler turns by leaning toward the direction of the turn.
On the expressway, if a driver tries to drive slower than the traffic, he is a hazard to the cars. A. Ahead. B. In the expressway. C. Behind. The correct answer is C. The expressway is a fast road, so be sure that you don't go below the minimum speed limit, which is 60 km per hour. And if you are driving at 60 km per hour, keep your vehicle at the right lane to make room for faster vehicles. When negotiating a curve on a highway at a relatively high speed, you should A. Maintain speed to avoid accidents from drivers behind you. B. Increase your speed so you won't violate minimum speed limits. C. Decrease your speed further as you enter the curve. The correct answer is C. Reduce your speed before approaching a curve. Watch out for road signs warning of approaching curves so that you have enough time to slow down before steering through the curve. It is not considered safe driving on an expressway when A. Driver is driving at 80 km per hour. B. Driver is driving at 60 km per hour. C. Driver keep changing lanes without signaling. The correct answer was C. Always signal your intentions whether turning left or right, or changing lanes. In order to meet one's social responsibilities of caring for others on the road, a good driver should A. Always be mindful of other motorists. B. Always exercise care for pedestrians and other road users around. C. Always exercise patience toward other road users. The correct answer is B. Driving can be a very stressful activity, but it can also be a tremendous opportunity for developing mindfulness, patience, and loving-kindness. You, car B, are driving on a 2-lane road. A vehicle, car A, coming in the opposite direction decides to overtake. Judging by his speed and distance from you, he will not make it and he is on the head-on collision course with you. What will you do? A. Maintain your speed because you have the right of way. B. Reduce your speed right away and pull over to the right shoulder of the road. C. Increase your speed to discourage him. The correct answer was B. Driving isn't a competition. The best and safest drivers are those who yield when it's necessary to do so. Describes the thinking of a defensive driver. A. Always well rested and alert while driving. B. Considers driving safely and defensively at all times. C. Considers what other drivers might do and is preparing to do. The correct answer was C. Defensive driving is a set of driving skills that allows you to defend yourself against possible collisions caused by bad drivers, drunk drivers, and poor weather. If you look ahead and keep your eyes moving, you can spot potential hazards more easily. When you intend to slow down or stop, you should A. Step on your brakes lightly and turn on your hazard lights. B. Step on your brakes lightly to turn on your brake lights. C. Step on your brakes lightly and turn off your headlights. The correct answer is B. Stepping on the brakes will also activate your tail lights. This acts as a warning to vehicles behind you, signaling to them that you stepped on the brakes. When driving on mountain roads during daytime, you should A. Blow your horn every 15 seconds. B. Blow your horn whenever you sense an incoming vehicle. C. Blow your horn when approaching a blind curve. The correct answer was C. It's not mandatory, but blowing your horn is always a good measure and a safe way to approach and drive through a curve, especially on a mountain. What technique can be done with a manual car when trying to get started while driving on a steep uphill gradient to prevent your car from rolling backwards? A. Headlight technique. B. Jump start technique. C. Handbrake technique. The correct answer is C. When you need to start moving from a complete stop on a steep uphill, pull the handbrake and set your foot on the clutch pedal, start applying pressure to the gas pedal and slowly release the clutch as you slowly release the handbrake. Note, you must give it more gas than you would on a non-gradient road. When approaching a flooded area and you have to go through it, what should you do? A. Increase your speed so you get through immediately. B. Maintain your speed as most have water insulation anyways. C. Proceed at a very slow speed. The correct answer is C. If you're driving through water or flood, do so at a snail pace first, around 2 to 5 kilometers per hour. Drive slow and steady. You don't want to disturb the water too much and risk water entering in the exhaust pipe. The blind spot is the area to your right or left that you do not see in the side view mirror. What will you do before you back up? A. Look at the rear view mirror. B. Get out of the vehicle and scout the area behind you first. C. Turn your head to see that the way is clear. The correct answer is C. When backing up, turn to your right so you can see through the back window. Turn your head and body to the right until you can see clearly through the back window. You can drape your right arm over the back of the seat to improve your balance as you do this. What should you do when you are driving at night? A. Drive within visibility range of your headlights so you can stop in an emergency. B. Drive quicker and always be prepared to step on the brakes. C. Drive fast so you can get to your destination quickly. The correct answer is A. A good rule of thumb when you're using high beam lights is to leave at least 150 meters 500 feet from any oncoming vehicle so you don't blind the oncoming driver. If you're within 60 to 90 meters 200 to 300 feet of the vehicle you are following, you must use low beam lights. This also gives you ample stopping distance. When a heavy fog occurs, you should A. Park at a rest area or vehicle stop until the fog has lifted. B. Drive slowly and turn on the headlights. C. Turn on your headlights and switch on the windshield wipers. The correct answer is A. There are cases where the fog is so heavy it's hard to see even with your high beam lights on. In this type of situation, the best thing to do is stop driving, park your vehicle at a safe place. Driving in heavy rains can be extremely dangerous because visibility is limited. What should you do? A. When you cannot see more than 20 meters in front of you, turn on your hazard lights, headlights and look for a safe place to park. B. Decrease your speed so you are safer. C. Drive as fast as you can so you can get to safely as soon as possible. The correct answer is A. A good rule when driving in the rain and you cannot see more than 20 meters ahead of you is to turn on your hazard lights. When driving on a highway, do not just stare at the vehicle in front of you, instead you should A. You should be polite and stop staring at the vehicle in front of you. B. Extend your scanning distance to about 12 seconds beyond the front of your vehicle. C. Also stare at the vehicles behind you to be safe. The correct answer is B. Anticipation is one of the keys to driving safely. It's always better to look ahead, and best to look way ahead of you when driving. When planning to overtake a slower vehicle in front of you at night, you should A. Bow your horn so he gets alerted. B. Flick your dimmer, switch 2 or 3 times to signify your intention to the driver of the vehicle that you intend to overtake. C. Put hazard lights on so he knows you're about to overtake. The correct answer is B. Do this as a precaution to warn the vehicle that you are about to overtake him. When you do not see the wheels of the vehicles in front of you, should you do A. Slow down and get back to a safer following distance. B. Turn your fog light on. C. Increase your speed until it becomes visible. The correct answer is A. Having vision of the wheels of the vehicle you're following is a good indicator that you're not too close and has ample and safe stopping distance. At an intersection with traffic signals, if you, car A, are not in the proper lane to make a right or left turn, you should A. B. Just continue ahead. Continue ahead and find a U-turn. C. Continue to make the turn. The correct answer is A. It's better to make the U-turn. You are preparing to exit an expressway. When should you start reducing speed? A. Immediately before entering the deceleration lane. B. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon spotting the deceleration lane. The correct answer is B. In an expressway you're driving at higher speed, that's why there are deceleration lane and signs to give you enough room and time to stop before your exit, so begin to slow down as soon as you recognize them. Whenever you are driving, especially when overtaking. A. Never overtake another vehicle from a tailgating position. B. Never overtake another vehicle that has its hazard lights on. C. Never overtake another vehicle that is on the passing lane. The correct answer is A. When a vehicle is tailgating another vehicle, it's highly likely that he wants to overtake. This is why it is discouraged to overtake this vehicle, because doing so could result in an accident. To avoid confusion to other road users, after changing lanes, finishing a turn and overtaking the driver should A. Make sure you don't get back to previous lane after changing lanes, overtaking and finishing a turn. B. Make sure to maintain your speed within speed limits after changing lanes, overtaking and finishing a turn. C. Make sure your signal light turns off after changing lanes, overtaking and finishing a turn. The correct answer is C. Many drivers forget about this, and this is very confusion to other road users. It's always best to signal your intentions whether to turn left or right, but when you're done with it, be sure to turn off your signal. When driving on mountain roads during daytime, you should A. Blow your horn every 1 minute. B. Blow your horn when you think it's necessary. C. Blow your horn when approaching a blind curve. The correct answer is C. Do this as a precaution to warn possible incoming vehicles that you are also approaching. During the night you may also flash your headlights to warn them. On long drives, you should be awake and alert. If you are tired or very sleepy, you should A. Drink coffee. B. Park at the designated bay of the road and take a few minutes nap. C. Drink energy drink. The correct answer is B. Make it a habit to get some rest if you're tired or sleepy. There are designated bays for you to park and rest, and there are also several gas stations and fast food where you can park and sleep. When the vehicle you are driving runs off the road or hits an electric post or parked car, your most probable reason is A. You have a flat tire. B. You are driving too fast and lost control of your vehicle. C. Another vehicle bumped you so you lose control. The correct answer is B. It is not against the law to drive fast, but be sure to follow road speed limits and make sure you don't endanger other road users including yourself. Whenever you are driving on a highway having a lot of potholes, you should A. Decrease your speed. B. Maintain your speed. C. Increase your speed. The correct answer is A. Driving fast through potholes will not only give you discomfort but can also damage your car, so slow down and be alert. Also, try to avoid paddles and leave an extra space between you and the vehicle you are following. If a driver passes a blind person, he A. Should not flash his headlights. B. Should not sound his horn. C. Should reduce his speed. The correct answer is B. Never blow your horn on a blind person or any person with disability. It could be hard for them to tell where the horn is coming from, so you might disorient or startle a blind pedestrian rather than warning them. You must slow down or even stop for them. Some drivers are constantly sounding their horns, especially if they are in a hurry, which is an offense. When is such a situation allowed? A. When it is done only a few times. B. When it is done as a warning to avoid accident. C. When you're in a hurry. The correct answer is B. Yes, blowing your horn constantly is against the traffic rules. Use it properly. The headlights should be used often as needed to A. Make your intentions known to drivers around you. B. To signal to other drivers you have the right of way. C. To let other drivers know you are approaching. The correct answer is A. The use of headlights is crucial, especially at night or whenever conditions made it hard to see. If a driver is driving too fast into a curve, he or she A. Should slam the brakes when needed. B. Should not pull the handbrake. C. Should not slam the brakes. The correct answer is C. When approaching a curve, be sure to not slam on the brakes, but rather gently step on the brakes and try to stay in your lane when in a curve. When you make an abrupt move, especially when you are on a wet and possibly slippery road, the following action can cause you to skid and lose control. A. Improper braking. B. Hand braking. C. Stepping on the foot brake. The correct answer is A. When you are driving on wet surfaces you have less grip, so the proper way to brake is to gently put pressure on your brakes. Your speed while driving at night should keep on A. The distance that you can see where you come to a complete stop within the distance that your headlights can light up. B. The speed, since you have enough lighting anyways. C. A. Slow speed to avoid road crash. The correct answer is A. During the night it's harder to recognize sudden stops and your reaction time would also be slower, so it's best to leave a bigger gap between you and the vehicle you're following. While driving with maximum speed and you have to stop suddenly, you should A. Apply your brakes heavily with steady pressure. B. Apply your foot and hand brakes gently with steady pressure. C. Apply your brakes gently with steady pressure. The correct answer is C. The faster a vehicle is going, the closer it is to loss of control, especially when you hit the brakes hard. So, it's better to brake gently with a steady pressure. Road accidents can be avoided and minimized if the driver A. Don't disregard traffic signs installed in particular places. B. Drinks coffee before hitting the road. C. Drives slowly and carefully. The correct answer is A. Traffic lights are installed to regulate traffic from